everyone. So here is the second book that has been put forward for the Oxford Book Awards. This one is called The Super Miraculous Journey of Freddie Yates, and it is by Jenny Pearson. So like yesterday with the Unadoptables, I will read you the blurb and then part of the story, and have a think as you are listening whether you like the sound of it more than yesterday's book or less than. And make sure that you listen to all of them before you vote, as I have said before. Okay. Freddie Yates likes facts, just not the one staring him in the face, that his secret plan is not, in fact, secret. Because Freddie's journey wasn't meant to involve Big Trev and the onion eating competition, or the loo exploding pear and potato turnovers. And Freddie definitely didn't expect to end up with his two best friends on national television in a Supergirl costume. But journeys never take you where you think they will, and for Freddie, that fact might just have to be enough. Okay, let's have a read. Miracles might come in all shapes and sizes, but I'm still not convinced they are small and furry like Lady Gaga. It's funny what people consider to be a miracle. After Dad had his little accident, Gram said, "Joe, it's a small miracle you didn't kill yourself." It wasn't a small miracle, though. It was Eileen from the hairdressers, and nothing about Eileen is small or miraculous. If she hadn't been walking her dog, Lady Gaga, at that exact moment, she wouldn't have seen Dad's post van roll down the hill, and she wouldn't have shouted at him to move out of the way. So, as I said, not a miracle, just good timing. Well, goodish timing. He still broke his leg. Our teacher, Mrs. Walker, once said that if she finished the school year without strangling one of us, it would be a miracle. At the end of year 6, all my class was still alive. At least, I think they were still alive. Dylan Catano disappeared midway through the autumn term, but I heard that he went back to Japan. Anyway, my point is that Mrs. Walker was wrong. Not strangling one of 6W is not a miracle, even if we were a handful. In the olden times, miracles used to be bigger, although there's no knowing if those miracles actually happened either. Once, Charlie, Ben and I tried to share a bag of fish and chips from Marley's. It stretched the very limits of our friendships, and Marley's is known for its big portions. How some bloke called Jesus managed to share 3 haddock and some whitey slicey with 5,000 people, I do not know. I guess people wanted to believe it happened. Dad says people like a good story, and if it makes them happy, then why let the truth get in the way? I suppose that's what happened in Wales this summer. People saw what they wanted to see, and they wanted to see miracles. If you'd asked me at the beginning of July what I thought about that, I'd have told you the truth is important, the facts are important. Back then, facts were just about everything and my favourite thing to me. Some people collect Pokemon cards, some people collect stickers. I collected facts. See, once you know a fact, it's yours, to keep forever. It can't leave you and no one can take it away. But then, this summer, I saw something truly miraculous, which made me question everything. Chapter 1. You probably need to know a bit about Ben and Charlie to understand why they got involved in this whole thing. The summer should have gone like this. Ben was supposed to go to America with his dad and his new stepmom Becky. Charlie was going to some vegan sanctuary with his parents, and I was going to be loafing around the house with Dad and Grams. That's what I call my grandma. But none of this happened. On the surface, you might think Ben had the best deal, but you haven't met Becky. Even Disney World can't cancel out Becky. Gram says she's met women like her before. I don't know who these women were or where she'd met them, but I got the impression that Grams did not approve. On the last day of year 6, we sang a really shouty version of One More Step Along the World I Go in our Leavers Assembly. Then Mrs. Walker wished us and our future teachers the best of luck and led us out to the playground to be picked up by our parents. She looked pretty frazzled by then. Ben had put 5 packets of Mentos and a bottle of Coke at the class party, and there had been a massive explosion. Don't get any ideas. He said he didn't know it would happen, but we all knew that was a lie, because a lively woman with striped tights and a badge that said I Love Science had done it in assembly in year 5. I had permission to walk home as Dad couldn't drive after his accident, and Grams wasn't allowed to drive after she crashed into the war memorial in the centre of town. I think the doctor said it was because she had guacamole in her eyes, which is odd because she wouldn't eat foreign food. She also couldn't have driven me home because by this point she was dead. But I didn't know that at the time. I'm telling you now so you're prepared for the sad bit later. Oh dear. Ben, Charlie and I were walking out of the school gates. I was heading to the newsagent's to buy my usual after-school snack, a packet of Monster Munch, when Ben's new stepmum, Becky, rolled up in their new Range Rover and wound down the window. She was wearing a very low-cut top, which Grams would have said is just asking for attention. "Hi, boys," she smiled, revealing a lot of teeth. Actually, I have a fact about teeth. You might want to write this down. It's a good one. Grown-up humans have 32 teeth, which, in the animal kingdom, is not that many. Most people think that sharks have the most teeth, but they're wrong. The garden snail has over 14,000 teeth. Even Becky doesn't have that many. Charlie whistled and said something embarrassing like, "Your new mum is awesome." Ben didn't like that, so he gave Charlie a shove. Not hard enough. Ben reckons Charlie doesn't have a filter. He'll just blurt out whatever he's thinking. I reckon Ben's right about that. Anyway, Becky flicked her long blonde hair and lifted up her huge sunglasses. "Hop in, Ben. I'm taking you for a haircut before our family holiday. You're looking shabby." Ben wasn't looking shabby. He had really cool big flicky hair. Sometimes he even had zigzag lines or patterns shaved into the sides. The girls seemed to like it anyway. Well, they like it more than the haircut Grams gave me, with the pinking shears that left me with a crinkly fringe. She blamed that on her eyesight too. Ben was definitely upset by the shabby comment. He takes his hair quite seriously. He stuffed his hands in his pockets and mumbled so Becky couldn't hear, but I heard what he said. He said, "She's not my new mum. She's not even family." Becky didn't like being kept waiting. Her face got a bit ugly and she shouted, "Benjamin!" He seemed to get smaller and muttered, "It's Ben." Everyone knows that he doesn't like being called Benjamin. But I don't think Becky cared about what Ben liked, because she rolled her eyes and said, "Whatever, Benjamin, get in the car, we're going to be late." Charlie and I shot each other a glance as Ben clambered into the back seat and slammed the door. And even though I knew he was going to Disney World, I still felt sorry for him. Becky tooted her horn and she must have forgotten that she was angry because her big red lips stretched into another huge smile. She shouted out the window, "Have a wonderful summer, boys," and then with a screech of the tyres, they were off. After their car had turned the corner, Charlie did the big sigh and said, "Ben's so lucky. His new mum is really lovely." This is what I mean about Charlie having no filter and being a bit blurty. I glared at him. "Charlie, we hate Becky, remember?" He puffed out his cheeks. I know, but..." "No buts," I said. After that, he convinced me to skip the Monster Munch and go with him to the chicken shop. He said he wanted one last supper before he went off to Camp Mungbean for the annual Anderson family detox. Charlie's mum turned vegan 3 years ago and he hasn't stopped moaning about it since. He ordered a family-sized bucket of Texas fried chicken, and as he picked the bones clean, he banged on about what a rubbish summer it was going to be for him, that healthy kids equals happy kids with only avocados to eat. I wish I'd known at the time what was actually going to happen, and then I could have told him to stop all his whinging. But I didn't, so I listened to his plans to sow sweets in his pyjamas and hide crisps in his sleeping bag, all the time thinking that my summer was going to suck way harder than his. Okay, so that is your second option. So compare it to yesterday's book. Completely different styles of book. Which one so far do you think you prefer to carry on reading? Okay, on to the third one then. So the next video I'm going to read The Girl Who Speaks to Bears by Sophie Anderson. So tune into that third video next.